Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I ain't been live for a long time, man. I ain't done a live. I had a few lives lined up, just ain't got round to it. I'm gonna be joined by khalsamerica team. Trying to join them now. Gonna interview Charlene Cole first. We've already interviewed one. I'm gonna Flexi on as well. Yeah. Get the khalsamerica, you good. CQ move. Anyone wants anything moved, go to CQ move, man. Do you know what I mean? Sam sings. Okay, done, yeah, CQ move respect. If you say Mal, Uncle Mal, CQ move will give you 10% off of your moving journey. He moves stuff all over the UK. Wolf by me, accept the request, please. Wolf by me is the other half of Casa America. I've invited you, Benji. Hope everyone's cool, man. Sunday, it's a late one, but their timing in America is different. Yeah, get the Casa America. I'm just waiting for Charlene Benji to join. I've sent a request if she could accept it. Oh, I'm gonna send it again. It says you're unable to join. It's because it's in America. You get me? I'm gonna keep inviting you, Benji. Yeah, a bit late for my big brother. We're 5 hours ahead of America. You see, is their timing. They've just finished the Godot. It's a rare ass time for them. So it's the timing thing. I was, we meant to do it later, but it just didn't happen. So I'm just waiting for Benji to join, man. I know it's late, but people should be sleeping, ready for work, keeping all that time in the UK. But they've just finished their air loss. Trying to get Benji to join, man. What's going on? Benji, I've sent you an invite. Accept it, please. Or send me a request to join. Request to join the video. Yeah. Flexi, if you could get Benji to send me. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Just got to keep trying. I've accepted Benji. It just it will happen. It will happen because I haven't done a live for a long time. Oh yes, yes, yes. Hanji, can you
Hold
hear me?
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why'd you call out Fateh? Can you hear me, Benji?
Why you got called so I can take hear me?
Yeah, yeah. A long time coming. We've been planning this for some time, huh? And
Yeah.
now it's finally here, man. So Benji's this is Charlene Kaur. She's one half of Cast America. They done was it Siki Cast? It was a project in America. It was like to help the non-Punjabis have a voice about Siki. We spoke to our brother Flexi Stew. He's originally from the UK. He went to America. He told us about his journey in Sikhi. So today I wanted to speak to you. Might have heard about the music that these guys do. I wanted to speak to Benji. I've heard a lot about her. I wanted her to tell her story and just tell the Sangat. It's good for the UK Sangat to see how the non-Punjabi Sikhi is quite growing in America. We had the free HO guys, obviously Benji and Flexi done the tune that we ain't free HO. So, every time we see a non-Punjabi white person into Sikhi, we think free HO, free HO. So she's already cleared that up and we'll go into that today. So Benji, so tell us about your journey. First of all, you're like how you grew up, where you grew up, and like how you discovered Sikhi. But start from it's your show. You do what you it's you to say what you want to say.
Okay. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I guess the beginning, I grew up, all my family's Christian. I grew up in a pretty religious household, like church 2-3 times a week,
Wow.
Bible study, all that different stuff. I mean, my childhood was good. I just felt that I had a lot of spiritual questions, and when I wanted to ask those questions, either they weren't answered satisfactorily or people just didn't have the answers. I did a lot of Bible study, things like that. But I first saw about Siki in a library book on world religions, and it had like the Harminder Sahib, the 10 gurus, and then had a little thing about the Nihangs on the side. And I just remember seeing that picture of like Harminder Sahib and the Sarovar and everything. And I told my mom, I have to go there someday. And she said, when you go there, you have to tell them about Jesus, which is
Okay.
like totally normal response coming. Yeah, it's like, I mean, that's like
Yeah.
a normal thing for her. And I feel like I didn't really understand my mom's dedication to Christianity until I became a Sikh. It's like, okay,
Wow.
Jesus is her guru. Like, so
Yeah.
now like I understand her more, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so I was 7 and I knew about Sikhs. And whenever we would drive through Pittsburgh, so I'm originally from Western Pennsylvania. I would always see the domes from the Gurdwara side there. And I would just be like, oh, I wish I could go there. I wish I could go there. But I knew even if I asked, you know, maybe my dad would have taken me. Because my dad was, even my parents didn't agree on, they're both Christians,
Okay.
but my dad, more of a Sikh view of the afterlife than my mom. And when I
Okay.
became a Sikh, my dad was actually totally all for it. He was excited for
Wow.
me. Yeah, my mom cried. um, so yeah, so then when I was about 12 or 13, I actually found one of my journals, and I had written in it that, you know, I think I'm a Sikh, you know, like, and I just know there was no one to talk to about it, and if I did, then, you know, I would have been ridiculed, or, you know, I think my mom probably would have flipped out. And like I
Yeah.
said, this isn't a criticism of her. It's just that she believes so strongly that unless you accept Jesus Christ as your savior and like follow him, that you'll literally physically burn in hell. She believes that. And I
Mm.
appreciate so much that my mom doesn't want me to go to hell. Like, that's so nice
Yeah.
of her, you know? And
Yeah.
she
100.
believes that when we die, we'll all be together in heaven. And like, she wants that because she loves us. I get it. Um, and even as like a 20-year-old, I got married when I was 18. Even as a 20, I was about 20, 21, and I was like, well, now that I'm free and I've done all this research, I just kept coming back to Siki and seeing like the core tenets of Siki, and just realizing that deep inside, those are things that I believe. And I was just so excited that, hey, there's an actual religion and this whole entire group of people that feel the same way I do about God and the world and all that. And I told my husband at the time, I think I'm a Sikh. I think I want to become a Sikh. And I was pretty young and maybe a little bit more naive than I should have been. I probably
Mm.
wouldn't have got married when I was 19 if I was a little smarter. Um, he said, I think that's only for Indian people. Like, I'm pretty sure you have to be Indian. And I just didn't get in my mind. But even online, you saw that there were white Sikhs, and it was mostly like the 3HO people. And at the time, I didn't realize what the difference was. And I try to show him that, and he's like, okay, but even if you do, like, what's your family going to say? And that really stuck with me. Like, I thought, you know, like I said, I was 2021. I thought if I change my beliefs, if I start wearing a turban and doing all these things, you know, maybe my family will stop talking with me. They'll reject me. Maybe I'll lose friends over it. And I guess maybe I was worried about that. And so I even had like started wearing a turban at home just to try it out. And a lot of my friends were just kind of like, hey, if this is like your new look or something, that's cool. Someone said, do you feel you were a Sikh in a past life? Let me try to answer that. I actually went and met Baba Joginder Singh Ji in Ludhiana. at the Rakba in Ludhiana in 2020. And there was a Singh there. He was like the only guy that spoke English. And he told me, you know, either you had such good karma that you get to be a Sikh in this life, or you were a Sikh before and you didn't get to finish your mission. So you're back to finish your mission. And I said, what's my mission? He goes, that's what you have to figure out. And since kind of like getting, you know, getting to meet other Sikh converts, and that's all through the internet. You know, we'd be friends for a while and then meet in person, and even like Stu Virji and everything, like, and his mission, you know, with khalsamerica and everything. I really think that maybe the part of my mission is to help spread Gurbani in the West. So we're not talking about, because, you know, Sikhism doesn't believe in forced anything, but especially not conversion tactics. You're a Sikh because of Guru's Kirpa, or is your destiny, or whatever, right?
100%.
Like I said, all these things are all, you know, just my opinion. You know, I don't want to tell anybody that they're wrong. So we're not trying to make more Sikhs. We're trying to spread the love and the truth of Gurbani. Like, Gurbani is for everyone. Guru Nanak went around traveling, you know, talking about God and questioning people about their beliefs about God, and being practical, and, you know, kind of saying, hey, you know, some of these superstitions, do you really think that that's benefiting you at all? You know? And so like I said, about 2021, I was like, I guess it's not, you know, for me to become Sikh at this time, but it was still always in the back of my mind. And I did go to Gurdwara one time with a friend, and it wasn't during the Divan or anything. No one was there except for the Granthi, and he didn't really speak English, but he showed us around, and then he was like, you come Sunday, you know, 11 a.m. Okay. And, you know, we were like, okay. And we left. We're like, oh, that was cool. Still never went. That was probably in maybe like 2008 or 2009. And then finally, I got divorced in 2014. And then finally I realized, like, I'm free. Like, I could do literally whatever I wanted. The first thing I did was go to the Gurdwara. And the first time I went, and before that I had been listening to the Kirtan on YouTube and stuff, and I just loved listening to it, because every time I listened to it, I felt something like peace, or I guess it would just be like a sense of peace that I really never had felt before. And so, it would have been 2014. Went to the Gurdwara for the first time. Then it was in Georgia. And and the people were super friendly right away.
Wow.
And went up and sat in the darbar, and just remember feeling like I said, very light, and like just something had been lifted from me, just really, really at peace. And like I was home. Like, finally, I felt so good. And that Ivan's like Wednesdays and Sundays, so I was going to that. And then I was in the Air Force for about 11 years, and I got out in 2016. I had a medical retirement from an injury.
Wow.
And I don't want to say I'm lucky or it could have been worse, blah, 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 because, like, I think that's relative. But it's something that I could have been a vegetable or dead.
No way.
Yeah, and that didn't happen. Like a partial spinal cord injury and a TBI, so traumatic brain injury. And so it ended my career. I mean, I had planned to stay in 20-something plus years. And so my 20 years would have been December of last year. But given everything that's going on now, I won't go too far into it. I'm really, really, really glad I'm not still in the military.
Wow. form of kirpa. You
Yeah.
saying that the injured, was it during combat or was it falling off a plane? How did you get injured?
So was slated to go to Afghanistan 2 times, and then the missions got canceled at the last minute, and they
Yeah,
said, just, stand by, and we're going to
yeah,
let you know. And then the field that what I was in, we were critically manned field, which means we
yeah.
don't have enough people. And
Wow.
so then an order came out that, we had a couple fields in the Air Force that were critically manned, and they're not going to be deployed because we can't afford to lose them. And I was like, all right. So I got to do a lot of things during my career, but going and seeing like combat, no. Um, so I signed up for all that, but it just never happened. And I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about
Yeah.
it. So it
It
was
could be
just
a blessing.
during like, sorry.
I said it could be a blessing because imagine you took out lives and then you thought, okay, was it worth it or was this war just or something? Because there's no general like Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, you know what I mean? All the
That's
wars that,
right.
yeah,
That's right. And I've said that to people. I said, I
mm,
was in the Air Force, I was in the military here, but now I want to join the Faj of Kalpuruk. That's that's the real army right there. Um, so it was just I don't know, probably anybody's familiar with a loading dock. And
yeah,
so a
yeah,
loading dock is you're looking about 5-6 feet off the ground, and then use big military size trucks. So when you climb up into those, you're another 5 or 6 feet up. So we're talking about 10 to 12 feet up. And then you have the caddy, which I don't know what other people call it. I don't know what you guys call it in the UK, but there's a chain and a bolt that sets that out. And then you climb up the side and you start loading stuff into the truck. And I would go out first because I was in charge of the way everything had to be stacked within the back, for the way the weight's supposed to be distributed and all that, and we'd inspect all that stuff. Um, and I don't know if it wasn't bolted the whole way or it failed. The guy who said, hey, I double checked it, felt pretty bad after the whole thing. But I
wow.
got up first because I was supposed to be the first person in, and it came down, and I went back. I hit my back on the edge of it, which turned me upside down, and I landed right on the
Oh,
back of the noodle. So you don't want to do that.
oh. So
Um,
you was in hospital straight away, innit?
yeah, I woke up about 13 hours later.
Lucky to be alive.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, really lucky. Dang, if I had been wearing a turban, it might have been a little better off for me. But so that's what my
but
dad used to call this. He used to call it my bumper.
yeah, well,
He liked to see it.
yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of Sikhs that have been punched, yeah, and it's took the impact. There's a couple of times when I've been working and stuff, and I get up and I hit a corner, but my bug saves me. And yeah, the
Right,
things like where the chakkar, if a sword hit, it will take the sword blow as well. Maharaj,
right.
it gives us honor, it gives us principle. Like the star to me is like it makes me behave. Like if I'm out and I'm doing something inappropriate, straight away I'm representing Siki, So I'm not the best Sikh, but it does give you that discipline as well. It gives you that, like, you're not just representing yourself, you're representing the Guru, representing other Sikhs. So it keeps you in check in it. You know what I mean? Like a school uniform. That's why school uniforms were designed, because when I grew up, we didn't have school uniforms, and then
Mm.
there was loads of school fights, and they just made the uniforms first because a lot of people couldn't afford clothes every day, and the other reason was to say we know which ones are our pupils, so we can keep our pupils in check. So the kids that are stealing from the corner shop, we know they're from our school, so we can go. You know what I mean? So a uniform has many purposes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love the Dastar, and I always used to keep short hair. And so when I started growing my hair out, keeping it long, keeping my kiss, all that, some of my friends, they were like, okay, we know you're serious about this if you're growing your hair out. Like, but I
Yeah,
have to wear the Dastar. Like I said, I always kept my hair short because it was just such you spend so much time trying to make it look a certain way or keeping it out of your face, and that's why I would just keep it short, especially in the military is a lot easier. So wearing the
Yeah,
turban for
100%.
me was just kind of a no-brainer. Um,
How did you learn it? It looks so nice. You do it better than me.
uh,
That's crazy.
actually just look at pictures and then try to figure it out. And then started to be able to find videos and just see different things. Um, I don't know. Just I like just to play with it. I like to do different things with the colors. So mostly I wear bana, and other than that, I wear like sports clothes and jeans. You know, especially
Mm,
like being on the motorcycle, you want to be safe and not have stuff flying around. Um, yeah. So I'll get back to like the line of
mm.
my transformation to Siki, and then we can go off on some more tangents and maybe answer some questions. Just because there's some stuff that's pretty funny in there. So then
Right,
at that
amazing.
age, I was probably like 28 or 29, and yeah. So I came to the Gurdwara, and then since when I got out of the military in 2016, a lot of people when they after that amount of time or more in the military, they have a hard time adjusting to civilian life. I did. I didn't think that I would. I thought I'll be free. Like, what's better than that? But when you have a very rigid schedule where someone tells you what and how to do something all day, every day for, a decade, and then you're like, oh, what do I do? Um, I don't know. It was more than that too. It's more than that too. Like, you're taught to be hyper aware of everything that's going on around you, and it's just hard to know how you've been for a decade, how that I don't know how to explain how that fits into being a civilian. Um, and so it was only 15 minutes away. I would go to the Gurdwara like almost every day. And at that time, they had just brought a Ragi Jata from India. The committee had asked me, "Hey, do you think you could teach these guys English?" And I was like, "Do they know the alphabet and how?" They're like, "Yeah, they just don't know what the words mean." I'm like, "Oh, okay, okay, okay." Because teaching somebody to read is is a whole other ball game than teaching someone to speak. Like, and they did really. I tried teaching them all at the same time. That was a disaster. So then they all got their own like 45-minute block because they all wanted my attention at the same time or whatever. And then I ended up teaching them how to drive, how to pump gas, how to go grocery shopping, and what everything was called. Like, because everything. I've been to Punjab twice, and so now it's easier to see how they were confused. Um, and so it was kind of a trade. Like, I taught them things they needed, to adjust to being in this country, and they helped me learn a lot about Maryada and how to take care, do seva of Babaji directly, or Guruji,
Mm.
just seva at the Gurdwara, a lot of Punjabi cooking, and then I would come, and do langar seva, the cooking and the serving, and just learning a lot of that. And then the first time I went to Punjab, I went with a pretty strict Amritdhari family. They took me around to like as many holy places as we could see in about 3 weeks. It was really nice. And then they taught me a lot about being Rehetvan and all that. And they took me to Ludhiana, to the Rakba, and I got to have audience with Baba Joginder Singh Ji. He doesn't say much,
Oh,
but that was really, really cool. And I
yeah,
have some
sure.
mentors. They're passed away now. Some people might be familiar with them. It was she changed her name a few times. She was sure, but because she had taken Amrit in Germany or maybe the UK under the Taksalis, but then she took Nihang Amrit. Was it Manjit? Yeah, Bibi Manjit Kaur Devi Nihang, and then her husband was Gurdayal Singh. He just passed away as well, maybe last year or the year before. But they were some mentors of mine, and they were aligned to Baba Joginder Singh Ji. And so it was really nice to learn, and then like sort of like the um, Nihang Maryada on top of that, because I don't want to say it's more strict, but yeah, it is. It's more detailed. Like if people think Maryada, like Amritari Maryada is hard, like Maryada is more. But having already been in the military, it's sort of like that. I mean, well, it is like that, you know.
Yeah, because
Nihang's
I know
preserved the military traditions from Guru Gobind Singh and everything.
that's why we had the rate Mriada, because even some people, they come out of jail and they institutionalized. When they come out, they don't know what to do, and they just end up going back in, because that's why the rate Mriada, we got the nickname Rera, Skeetan Soholla. I mean, my mate Jaspal, he's part of the Air Force in Britain, and he's watching, so just telling him Benji was part of the Air Force in the USA. So I want to
Yeah,
get him
yeah.
on. I want to get him on one day as well, soon, and talk about the Air Force and Army here, because a lot of Sikhs are joining the Army here. We have a regiment for Sikhs here. Like me personally, I really trust Guru Gobind Singh Ji. I don't know what the motive is behind every war, but I have another mate called Shabat Deep. He's from Sacramento. He was in the Army as well, and obviously he left as well. And he said similar stuff to you, that he joined the Army because he was a Sikh and he wasn't a Singh when he joined. Because he joined the Army to get the discipline, to have some sort of purpose, meaning in life. But he goes, he doesn't regret leaving now. But he thought at the time it was something that he had an itch. He goes, I've always read about Sikh history, and it was the closest thing was to join an army, because he always wanted to join an army. And unfortunately, we have the Karpur Ki Forge, but it's not, we haven't got no structure to it at the moment. It's free for all, isn't it, really? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and then you have some people that are squabbling amongst themselves about who's the rightful Jatadar and all that.
Yeah.
I don't participate in any of that. Like I said, my mentors were aligned to Baba Joginder Singh Ji,
Mm.
but people say, oh, who do you follow? Guru Granth Sahib Ji.
Yeah,
Because
Baba.
Guru Gobind Singh Ji told us that's our guru. So I just go with that. I don't really belong to any Jatabandi, nothing like that. And I'll mingle with the different Jatabandis. But I like I said, I'm more like Nihang leaning. And even so, actually one of the things that I do is I make, like, I guess, I make mallas, I make
Wow.
Fuman, I make different stuff like that. I've fabricated quite a few weapons. Like I have a Nedja here that I bought the spearhead from Mahakal Arms. So Mahakal Arms I get a lot of my stuff from him, and I bring it here and, donate it or sell it or whatever. But I do it as a business. But because there's on the East Coast, it's really hard, especially the East Coast. Like most of the Sikhs in the U.S. are in California, and then the
Yeah.
cities in New York, New Jersey. You got a lot in Indiana, Michigan, and Illinois. But most of the cultural shops is mostly like clothing, and like ladies' clothing. Like you're not going to be. It's hard to find places where you can get kakars and like a good quality kara, even a good quality gatra. Because you get these gatras, and especially people wearing them under their clothes, they get sweaty, so you got to wash them, and then they just wear out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so I like some really good quality stuff. And so Mahakal Arms, some people are familiar with him, Nirmal Singh. He's a good friend of mine. Actually, when I was in Punjab a couple years ago, I spent a good amount of time with him. Funny guy, scary guy. He's like 6'4", and I mean, he's a good guy, but he makes really good quality stuff. So that's part of my business. I sell stuff on Etsy, and I used to do it just as like a hobby. And then people were saying, "Why are you just giving this stuff away? Why don't you make a business out of it?" And I get a pension from the Air Force. But I mean,
Wow.
it's nice to sell that and then get the money so that I
Yeah.
can invest in
Yeah.
doing it again, doing it some more. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
people who are taking Amrit, sometimes the Gurdwara will give them the kakars, but they're giving them, sometimes you get those, like, do you see these karas? These aren't going
Right.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
karas that they get in those flimsy ones, or they give them a gatura that's gonna wear out, And so I want, or even a kanga that's gonna wear out, or that's really brittle and just gonna mess up their hair, And I like doing that to like give them like, nice kakars that are gonna really last them. So when I finally decided that, I'd come to Gurdwara, I was home, I was doing the seva, I was learning everything. And finally, I'm like, all right, once I was sure, and I'm like, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm doing. I started tying the dastar and everything. Like I said, I got out in 2006. So that's when I started wearing it full time, in the fall of 2016. And then at the Gurdwara that I went to, my home Gurdwara, I was the only Penji in a dastar. And
Yeah.
even everyone wasn't supportive.
What, the
They
Punjabis or just your family?
The Punjabis, the Sangat, they weren't all supportive. And some of it was out of concern. They said, people don't
Uh,
really understand it. They're going to think you're a Muslim. They might try to hurt
yeah.
you,
Yeah.
and what's your family going to say and all of that. And I said, if someone attacks me or kills me because of my dastar, then that's it. So what?
Yeah.
You
Death
know?
before the sun, man. That's the Sikh is not easy path.
Yeah.
You come with your head in your palm. Just before we move on, Stewie's just put etsy.com/shop/SikhGeek2. That's where Benji you can buy all the stuff. So if you're from America,
Yeah.
do you ship internationally, or is it just across the USA?
I haven't been because the shipping was so much.
Yeah,
But
no problem.
if you see something on there and you message me and you want it, then if you pay through PayPal, then you don't have to pay as much of like the international like taxes and all that. Especially if you custom. Like I do a lot of. I don't have it on like Shingars that do custom, and
Yeah,
especially like I want everyone to want to wear the Dastar, but especially the Panjis. They want to feel pretty, and that's the thing that they think they're sacrificing something, like showing their hair is beautiful and wearing the dastar is not, or that it makes them look like a boy. That's not it. I want, even like keeping your hair, Guruji taught us this way because it's what's best for us. Once you accept your true form, like think about yourself, like your Dottie, can you imagine what you look like without it?
oh yeah, yeah. I don't want to.
You don't want to, right? Like
Nah.
this is what you really look like. And like accepting your hairs and accepting yourself, and not, especially for the females, giving into that pressure to like shave this and shave that and look this way and that way.
The beauty standards in modern society are very tough. It's even worse now because of social media. And before it was just, in my days when we was young, the girls used to wear a bit of foundation, bit of lipstick. Now it's
Yeah.
lip fillers. You've got contouring
Oh wow.
makeup.
Yeah.
On top of contouring, the Kim Kardashians invented all this sort of stuff. You've got filters, internet filters. So
Mm.
as males, when we're seeing women online and in real life, our sense of beauty is like, wow, all these women online are stunning. And we're not seeing that in real life because people are underestimating the power of filters and contouring. And so the beauty standards are very high. I'm an advocate of natural beauty, angelic, it looks simple, and it's humble, humility. But there's loads of singing here in my generation that in UK, the Sully Benjis, the AKJ Benjis, they do wear the star. They still look feminine. They look great. They look angelic to me. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
recently in the UK, America, we have singing here that might rock the star, but they haven't got no knowledge about Siki, and they're just doing the clothing and the pouting and the makeup is very extreme, and the poses that they're doing with the star. So sometimes it's better some people don't wear the star until they have full understanding of the responsibility comes it. And we can take it to the lads as well. We can take it to the Singhs as well. You know, Singhs wear the star and they're doing some crazy stuff online and stuff as well. So this does
Yeah, or
come
going out to the clubs and drinking in the star, like
smoking. Some are
that
even
makes me sad.
smoking. Some are
Yeah,
smoking. Some are posing with. I've seen Singhs posing with female porn stars. Everything, you know, it's crazy. So it does come with responsibility. I'm not saying that everyone's gonna be perfect or an angel, but
right, right, right,
we've got to have some sort of boundaries and limits as well. And we'll touch upon this
right.
again when Stu comes on as well. When we
Yeah,
talk about some of the music and AI and stuff like that. But
yeah. I don't
you
want,
know, sorry.
I was just gonna say, I don't want any of the, Banshees to feel like judged and everything. Like, I think that there's room in the pump for people expressing themselves, and if the same jolt is in you that's in me, that's in the trees, that's in the animals and all that, we're all expressing that same jolt. Like for me though, I've never been a makeup person, so that was really easy for me. That and like you're gonna get foundation on your dastar, man. Like I don't want to get mess up, my dastar and all that. I know it's really sensitive subject for a lot of people, but when I was learning, like I said, learning from the Ragis and the Granthis and everything, and they were teaching me, they just told me, if you want to take Amrit, they're like, there's no piercing. So I used to have like my nose pierced and my ears pierced. I took all that stuff out. Sometimes I'd pluck a wild hair here and there. I stopped doing that. Used to paint my nails, stopped doing that. I don't wear any jewelry other than, this. But that's when I did those things, I felt like for me that I felt good. I felt, okay, I'm doing it right. It wasn't doing it to fulfill someone else's map for my life or anything like that. It's just like when I did it, it's like I said, I felt lighter. I felt like, oh, that's like one more thing that, I don't know, like something that was weighing me down. The attachment, there was the attachment to those things that
Yeah,
it
no,
made me feel
the
like,
attachment.
especially like some women, they don't feel beautiful without their makeup on. And that's a lot for them personally to unpack. Okay, why do I want to wear the makeup? Is it because I don't feel that I'm beautiful unless I wear it? And, like I said, they just really explore that within themselves. And, but we shouldn't be judging people. We always say, oh, this is the only right way and all that stuff. And I agree that, that especially Amritari Panjis, we're supposed to be a certain way, like be more simple, no makeup, especially no bindi, because this is not, and especially the nose piercing, because the nose piercing sign of slavery. They used
Yeah, yeah,
to capture women in India and pierce their nose to show that they belong to someone else. We don't belong to anybody but the guru. That's what
yeah.
this means. This means we're guru banda. So we
No,
don't belong to anyone, even when we get married, our we're singing chord, joining together to help each other join with Vaheguru, right?
Mm.
It's not that, I'm not saying we don't belong to each other, but it's more than that. Like, we don't have, even in our language, any of the languages, we don't have the words to express the divine very well. Like, we're very limited in how we can express it. But yeah, I don't want or the fact that once you take Amrit doesn't mean you're perfect, doesn't mean you make
No,
a mistake. But when you make a mistake, you need to take personal responsibility for that, and either go for Peish, or, you know what I'm saying, you need to work it out. And I've even had a couple of people tell me, I wasn't going to talk to you because I thought that basically they thought I was going to snub them. I don't know if you guys say that over there, snub them, like be like, I'm better than you.
No, yeah, we get
Because
that.
of the
We
way
get.
I looked, because they've been treated like crap by people who were supposed to be more religious or more spiritual, who thought that they were better than everybody else. And I guess spiritual ego, that's such an oxymoron. How can you? We're supposed to be fighting our ego, so why would you take Amrit or put on the dastar and then become more egotistical, and then on top of that treat people badly? That's not Sikhi.
Yeah, you're
And they,
right. That happens. It
they said
happens. It happens.
yeah,
I done it. I've done it. When I got into Siki, I thought not perfect, but I thought I'm spiritually elevated, and I look down on my family. You know what I mean? You're drinking, you're eating meat, you're doing this, you're doing that, and then the guru throws you down. But sometimes, we need a bit of discipline, and sometimes the thing with Sikhi now is everyone's got this school of thought. Like you said, you took nose piercing, this and all that off, but there will be some singing that say, no, it's fine. The guru says this. Someone will pull out this marada, someone will pull out this interpretation of a Shabbat. It's never ending. So I liked what you said. You got to do you. You've got to do what feels right within you and how you think your guru would want to serve you, because we all have a intuition, right? We all have a gut feeling, right? What's right and wrong. And it could be different for everybody, and everyone is on different bhakti stages, everyone's on different avasta, everyone's on the spiritual ladder. And you know what? 10 years ago I was a different person. 10 years ago, 10 years forward, I might be a different person. Like before, I was I'm a strict vegetarian, but I didn't understand. I said, why are you eating meat? Why are Sikhs eat meat? Now I get it. There's a grey area. There's a grey area, and 10 years later, I might have a health problem where I need to eat eggs and that. But I'm not saying I eat it, but I'm just saying we have to be flexible. There's grey areas. And you know what? Everyone's on a learning curve. Some people ain't going to be where you're at, and some people have been taught a different version of Sikhi. And I've seen this in every religion, that there's so many different interpretations, so many different schools of thoughts. Within the Nahangs, we have different schools of thoughts. You got Bidhi Chand lot, you've got Baba Nahar Singh lot. Some Nahangs are vegetarian, some Nahangs take the weed, some even take Ratanis, a bit of alcohol. Then you got the Tuksars divided, you got the AKJs are divided. Me, I just believe in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. I've seen all the other jate and stuff. I've never been part of it. I used to be, when I was younger, a bit more Tuksalified, but then I didn't feel at home there as well. You know what I mean? I think it was just, I'm a free agent, but I'm not the best Sikh. But we try our best. We're here. Like, I'm 44 now, and life is short. It's gone like that. We do our part.
Yeah.
I come from you've done some music for me. I come from a very poor background, council state, single parent, probably one of the roughest estates in whole UK at the time. UK has gone through. I think it's getting safer. But when we grew up in the 90s, 2000s, so me just being a Sikh or finding my Sikhi, where a lot of people that I grew up with didn't have a clue. Mental health, death, jail. I mean, America has its issues as well, right? Especially, it doesn't matter what, in a quiet little town the states are massive. My mate in California is from Los Angeles. I said to my other mate in some next state, he goes, my state's right near California. I go, yeah, I've got another mate there. Make sure you go and pop by, see him and that. And he goes, yeah, how far away are you? So I gave the areas. They were 8 hours away. I go, oh my God.
Yeah.
In England, when
California covers almost entirely the west coast of the country. Yeah.
Yeah, when in England, when we say, oh, he's just a town away from me, it's like 15 minutes, 2 hours max. You can get from one side of England to the other 5 hours max. The whole country is like smaller than probably your smallest state. It's mad how Sikhs have ended up from Punjab. Punjabis, we don't own Sikhi, but obviously Maharaj Guru Nanak Dev Ji came into Punjab. It's just a skin color. Sikhi is divine, like you said, is universal. It's predestined. That book, what you read, that was predestined. It was to plant a seed that from my understanding of Gurbani, everyone's got a different understanding. That when you're born, you're only gonna get the true Guru Prasad in your life if it's predestined and God has giving you a chance to merge. Like, here, son, here, daughter, you've messed up in your past incarnations. This is the true guru. How close or far you want to get to the true guru is in your will, but the true guru is there. Somehow, some way, the true guru, whether it's through a music song, whether it's through a book, whether it's through meeting some random singing, or ending up in the Gurdwara for charity food and taking a talk, that spark's going to happen. Once that happens, your destiny awakens. Some of us have been lucky that, you know, our parents took us to the Gurdwara as soon as, like, I took my kids to the Gurdwara as soon as they're born. They're born into a Sikh family, but it doesn't mean that they're going to excel in their Sikhi. They could convert to another religion, and it happens all the time. But the Guru showed us mercy. Now it's our free will, our choice. You know, I believe in free will. I'm not saying everything's predestined. Some of it is out of our control. You know, some of the
Right.
pain and the pleasure is written because of our past deeds, but some of it is consequences of our choices. And, you know, like now, tomorrow, you have the choice. You know, you can cut it all off, go back to partying, clubbing, whatever you're doing. But it doesn't. You can't say the guru wasn't in your destiny. It was. How far or near, we've got to make that effort. Like Maharaj has given us roti, the prashada, the langar. It's in front of us. It's destined to be in front of us. We've got to break it, pick it up, and eat it. If we just leave it there and say, I'm dying of starvation, it's not the guru's fault. You know what I mean? He's
Right.
provided. He's provided. So we have to take accountability for our actions. And, you know, I can end this call and do my Kirtan Sohola, or I could watch a dirty film, or, do you know what I mean? I have that choice to get closer. In Japji Sahib, it says, Karmo api apni kehne reke dur. Climb the ladder. Some climb the ladders. Some fall over, some go far away from the guru, innit? But what town did you find that book? I'm assuming that you didn't grow up with many Sikhs.
Yeah, no, it was in a small town in Western
Yeah.
Pennsylvania at a free
There,
library.
there you go. That is just
Yeah.
freaky. It just doesn't make sense. If you
Yeah.
think about it logically, without divine intervention, it just doesn't make sense. So you said you had supportive
Right.
Sangat. Supportive Sangat. Any negative experiences from the Punjab? Because I remember when Stu came on, he was talking about why he started Sikhi caste, and because a lot of people, even the Muslims, the reverts, they have this issue where people feel like their own. Like, I know that Punjabis are cautious because of the free HO. We embraced the free HO. We were so proud of free HO when it first came out. And we're like, even I was like, yeah, man, we got all these glorious, you know, I used to say to people, got all these glorious converting, man. It's amazing. We're going to take over this and that. And then, you know, after that, you know, you could say mess up, you know, I don't even want to swear. And we don't own Siki, but we are a bit careful. The guard's up now, you know what I mean? Like, our boundaries going to be pushed, you know what I mean? So did you face any sort of backlash or any sort of negative experiences? Because, you know, you do get brown
Um,
people, they're racist. Even though Sikhi says Ekonkar and God is one and everything, we still believe in caste. Some of us, a lot of Punjabis might look like this, but we haven't understood Ekonkar, you know?
yeah, well, and then mostly with the cast thing, it's just like they don't want their son or their daughter to marry somebody who's not the same caste. Like I still hear a lot of that. The negative, like I said, there was some people that discouraged me from wearing the dastar. Um, and but then I had just as many people to defend me. Actually, one of the Gyanis was like, the aunties were laying into me again about it. They're just saying, "Oh, you're never gonna get married if you wear the dastar. You know, like you need to be." It wasn't like less opinionated. They were just saying you got to be more reserved if you want to get married, because I said that I wanted a Sikh partner, you know, stuff like that, and they're just like, "Ah, you're not going to be able to get married to a Punjabi guy. You're going to have to marry one of the yoga people." And I was like, "I'd rather be single than do that." Like, and the Gyani said to them, "You know, Charlene's never asked you to be like her. So why are you asking her to be like you?"
Mm.
And then he was like, "Boss, that's it." And he had a lot of the good one-liners. But yeah, he was just sick of them, what he felt was like picking on me. And I ran into another sort of similar thing. I had wanted to sign my kids up for Gatka, and I guess Stu's coming on. I had wanted to sign my kids up for Gatka, and I heard that the kids, the Gatka teacher was hitting the kids with the soti. So if they were late, they got so many whacks, different stuff like that. And, you know, he was saying stuff like, you can't be afraid to get hit. Okay, that's fine. But I'm not going to let somebody hit my kids over them being late, especially if they're late, it's probably my fault since I drove them or like whatever. And one of the aunties said, oh, well, you're not part of our culture, so you never understand it. And I just felt like, first of all, who asked you? Like, I just didn't see like why that she would say something like that. That like, I can't understand. No, I'm not Punjabi, so maybe I never will understand your culture. And then she was making some comments like, oh, this is why you can't get married because you don't understand our culture, or whatever, like stuff like that. So that's one thing, like a big challenge that a lot of us Western Sikhs face. In my culture, because I look like this, or even just like this, I'm not accepted in my culture. But then I'm also not accepted in, you know, Indian culture. So it's like almost like you don't belong anywhere. So that's something like kind of when in the beginning we were talking about, that's something to understand about Western converts to Sikhi. It's like I said, we're not part of the 3HO yoga thing. We have our own culture. We really do. And something that I want to say to all people who want to become Sikhs, you can still have your culture and be part of your culture. But the parts of your culture that are anti-Gurmat, right, like casteism, or like in our culture, in American culture, it's considered totally normal to drink a lot. You know, unfortunately, that's a big part of the culture here. Anything that's part of your culture that is against Sikhi, you're going to have to give that up if you really want to follow the Guru. I'm not talking about what people will say or what people will think, oh, kilo kenge. Okay, yeah, I know. But like, and that each person has an individual relationship with the Guru. So I know it's really hard, especially like in Indian culture, like everyone's so worried about what the society will think. Think more about what will my Guru think. I want to please my Guru. You want to please the Guru, right? So not so much about what other people will say, you know. If Guru wants to say this, then who cares what everybody else says? Like that kind of stuff, you know. But like I said, I'm not judging anybody. Like you said, not everybody is where or maybe they never want to give up their attachment to certain things. But that's part of, you know, something we're called to do as Sikhs, is to give up attachment.
Yeah, duality. Yeah, the culture.
Or even feeling bad about, even feeling bad about your past. That's attachment to your past. Everything's forgiven. You can move on. It's okay. But yeah, I was just gonna tell you, like, the funny part is that I told my parents, you know, I called them, and I was so close to my dad. I called them and I said, you know, I have something I want to tell you guys. And they were like, well, tell us, like, don't, because they were worried. I go, it's not a bad thing. Well, it's not a bad thing, you know. I said, but I have to show you. And I guess my mom was worried that I was going to come home and say I was gay. And then my dad was like, my dad was like, we would know that, or at least I would. She would have told me, you know, whatever. Because like I said, I was really close to my dad. And by the way, I hope you don't mind me saying this on your show. I really hope that everybody out there, like I said, we're all part of the same jot. We all have that same jot.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being gay or queer or anything like that. And I think that people, hopefully, like I said, think all back, like what, you know, do you remember the whole "What Would Jesus Do" bracelets thing? Do you remember that? What would Jesus do? That wasn't a thing there. So that was a huge thing here. Everybody wore the bracelets, "What would Jesus do?" So I made some that said, what would Guru Nanak do? What would Guru Nanak do? Guru Nanak would love everybody regardless of anything. And I really hope that the Sikh community can embrace gay and queer folk lovingly. Like, I really don't think there's anything wrong with it, and people can be mad about that if they want. But that's something that I do say openly, and I want to say openly that, like, don't be someone who's responsible for discouraging someone from coming to the Guru. Because you don't accept them, they're not coming. Same thing, we're like, oh, you know, picking on this Benji and that Benji because she's wearing lipstick. Or we don't, you know, like I said, that they don't feel welcome at the Gurdwara, or because they're low caste, or because they're dark, or because they're this or they're that. So you're talking about the negative experiences. Like I said, mostly it was just them saying, like, you need to be more Punjabi if you want to be accepted. I don't need to be more Punjabi. I need to be more Sikh.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, we are doing our best every day, and I just try to think, okay, you know, Guruji, hopefully every day I'll become a little bit more your Sikh, a little bit better at being your Sikh than the day before. Like, it's Sahaj, right? It's Sahaj, right? So I came home and I walked in the door, and my parents were in the kitchen having coffee, and my dad goes, because I was wearing a turban. And my dad says, is this the thing? This is the thing you were going to tell us? I said, yeah. He goes, so you're a Sikh now? And I said, yeah, because he knew it. He knew about Siki. He was a truck driver for a while. Like, you know, he knew about Siki. And, you know, he's like, oh, like, this totally makes sense to me. Like, I knew this would happen. And my mom was crying. And my dad's like, well, at least she's not gay. You know, you thought it was that, you know, because that's how they... You know, there's a lot of Christians too. They don't accept gay folks.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, it doesn't matter. She's still gonna go to hell. And I said, well, I could be there with all my new friends. And she didn't think that was funny. But then my dad's like, this totally makes sense to me. He's like, when you were growing up, he said you were always shooting the gun, shooting the bow and arrow, riding horses. He was talking about, you know, the Nihangs were some of the greatest warriors that ever lived. My dad was a huge history buff, and he never graduated high school. He was drafted into the Army during the Vietnam War, but such a smart guy. And he's like, no, yeah, this totally makes sense to me, beating up boys. And he said that when I was really little, I used to steal fabric out of my mom's sewing basket and tie it around my head. But I was so little, I don't really remember that. And so he was just like, he's like, I think, like, you found your people. He's like, some people go their whole lives and never find a place where they feel that they belong. And he's like, and you did that? He's like, I'm really happy for you. And we really started talking, and then we started talking about the afterlife, you know, me and my dad and my mom. And my dad was saying, in his view, that hell is when you're furthest removed from the presence of God. And I felt like that was a lot more like the Sikh view. And then he's like, and, you know, heaven is when you become joined with God, you're in God's presence. So, you know, mukt. And my mom's like, no, it's when you burn forever in hell and stuff like that. And she's like, is that what you want? And I was like, no, but I don't believe in hell. And she was like, oh, I live with her now, and things have gotten a lot better. She's still, every time I have like some little issue, she tells me it's because I deny Jesus. I disagree. But she's my mom. She's entitled to her opinion. And, you know, I always going to respect her because she's my mom.
Yeah,
so, yeah. She just loves me. I mean, I know she does. And it's in her own way. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the story. And now I've been, I think I've been, you know, Sikh for 12 years, like solidly made the decision and moved forward, and been to Punjab twice and seen the holy places, and just, I love it. And there's been times, you know, like I said, I was injured and I've had, you know, some problems, health problems and stuff like that. And the Sangat went out of their way to take care of me. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen, that doesn't happen in other religious communities. but they've really shown how much they care and love me, and that I'm one of their own. I can't say enough about them. And actually, I'm actually in Georgia right now, visiting someone. Her husband passed away, and she said she's feeling kind of lonely. So I came to stay with her for a month just to kind of help her through it, because it's hard when your significant other passes away. Coming to Sangat, and just people going, oh, did you move back? Or, oh, we missed you. Every time I come to visit, when are you moving back? We miss you. And I decided that I am going to move back. And the number one reason for that was because of that Sangat. They were my first Sangat. It's because I want to be part of that Sangat. I want to be able to go to Gurdwara every day, 15 minutes from the Gurdwara, in a Sangat that knows me and understands me and loves me, and I love them. And I know some people aren't as fortunate to have a Sangat like that. They feel don't belong, or that no one cares about them. But I've been so blessed by the Guru to have that. And and then, like I said, I'm moving, and it's in Georgia, and it's hot, and I hate the heat. But it's worth it. It's worth it. There's a couple other reasons too, but that was the number one reason. And people have been saying how excited they are and everything. And it's really touching. It's like that. And I get invited to all the weddings and everything, So yeah, they've really, and like I said, and when I got in the military, it was really hard for me, and they were there for me. They didn't really understand it, what was going on, and what the problem was, but they tried to help. They really did. And I really hope that, I know it's not that way for everyone, but I really hope that everyone could have that experience in their Sangat that loves them so much. And if not, and you're in the United States, come move to Georgia, and we'll go to my Sangat, and they'll love you too. I just can't say enough good things about them. They're just really, really great people. And I never experienced that, not really, whenever I was going to the Christian churches. And I thought that I just didn't understand God because I was either stupid or I wasn't going to the right church. So I even tried going to so many different churches. But once I was able to, study Gurbani, and most of the Gurbani I learned is through the Kirtan, because they put the translation up on the screen and stuff like that. Yeah. And I just feel like all the questions that I had that I felt Christianity could never answer, I felt like Gurbani had the answers in a way that I could understand. Like I said, this is no way like a rag on Christianity or anything. I'm just saying, for me, Gurbani, it's so simple to me. It's just like, I was just like, oh, that's so, like the Guru has explained it, so well, for people like me who couldn't understand it through any other religion. Like I said, I looked through all the other religions trying to find the answers. I really knew that spiritually there was something missing for me. And since becoming a Sikh, I don't feel that way. So glad, because, and I hope for everyone, regardless of the religion that they choose, that they can have that feeling too, that they feel spiritually fulfilled and spiritually healthy, because that's really an important part of being a human being. But yeah, I'm done running my mouth.
No, wicked. That's end of part one. So that was Charlene Cole's story. She's one half of khalsamerica. Flexi Stew, you can catch his story on a previous video I've done. He's the other half of khalsamerica, Siki cast. Before we go to part two, which is going to be about their music project, you've seen the faces and you've seen the reggae, the female that's doing the reggae raga. You won't believe that Charlie Benji. And some of the hardcore rap you probably think is going to be some black hood dude, and that is Flexi Stew. So before we go to part two, just end part one, I just want to do a disclaimer. Like, yeah, I agree with you about the jorts in everybody. But me, myself, my understanding of Siki is like, I promote female and male relationships, reproduction, and that's how I believe is Guru's will, God's will, organs being used for the right things. So I just wanted to put that in there. So I don't want people to say, oh, Benji said you can have gay marriages or whatever, and then you just sat there. You know, I just want to put my view that the jort is in everybody, God is in everybody, but the jort is in a rapist, the jort is in a pedophile. I'm not saying I'm not homophobic. I'm not saying homosexuality is a crime, but for me, I just think that if you're following the natural way, the design of the creator, he's made male for female. I don't want to get into a debate or argue with anyone about it. I just wanted to just put that's my understanding of life and Siki.
Sure. And I mean,
Yeah.
I knew you feel that way too, but just to counter that, not to counter it, just to say, like I said, this is not a debate, and I'm not trying to like keep going with this, because I want Stu to get to have his spot here, but I think that where people really get tripped up is they're thinking too much about the physical part of it. So two people that love each other, it's so hard to find two people that truly love and are in love with each other. And when you see two people that are clearly love each other and are in love with each other, that's so special. And it's not that they love that person because they're male or female or whatever it is. They love that person for who they are on the inside, their soul, their joy, you know, that's what they love. And like I said, there were things I didn't want to get into, but you know, I have a significant other, and that's a conversation that we had. And he's born and raised in India, and he had a lot of questions, and his views are a little different from mine.
No, but it's a he, right?
But
it's a H.
It is
just
a
to
he.
clarify,
It is a he.
We don't want the rumors going out. She's
I'm straight.
There's some or something, you know. Just to clarify, I just want to get out there because tomorrow we don't post Khalsamerica. Charlene Court's got a singly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't represent the views of all of Khalsamerica because, you know, Stu has his own views too.
Yeah.
And I think,
you
know, these are important discussions to have. But even if you don't support that, we never want those people to feel like
no.
Right.
Yeah.
We want them to know that Guru Nanak embraces all of his children. So,
Now, wicked. So
I'm just saying, everyone has different views, but
listen, I just have to get a disclaimer in there because tomorrow I don't want posts going up. You're promoting gay marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like this wasn't me.
Good for my street credibility.
This wasn't me.
I spent years doing street credibility. I've done jail time for street credibility. You know what I mean? I don't want that going down. So I have to get in there. So.
And if people are upset about what I said, I mean, it's a podcast. You asked me my opinions, and like I said, I really feel so strongly to put that out there because I know some people that, I don't know, to feel that you can't belong anywhere or that people hate you for something that honestly maybe you can't control, it's just such a sad thing. It's a sad thing.
Well, there's plenty of sad things. There's loads of sad things. People get beaten up because they're race. People get, you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's culture, right? Yeah. So part 2 now. But back 20 years ago, I came, like I said, I came from council states. I saw a gap. I saw a gap that the youth that came from my unprivileged background, we didn't have a clue about Siki. So then they were listening to Tupac, Biggie, Big L, Spice One, NWA, Nas. I mean, Stu might know about these people, Jay-Z's, you know, all these naughty by nature, all this sort of stuff. So I had the idea, I thought, let me chat about Siki, rap about Siki, but in the English twang. And, you know, we made a crew, we started rapping, and it blew up. You know, we was getting 20, 30K for niche, and we were street. And, you know, we made a page called Singro Productions, Singro Records. I nicked it from Death Row, you know, but Singro is like, you know, when you're on Singro, mate, because, you know, we was going for racist times. We was getting attacked by the white man, racist white man. We were getting attacked by the racist Muslims at the time as well, in our area as well. And we was getting also robbed by a racist black gang. So we was on Singro, you know, when we was walking them streets, we were likely to be attacked in the area that we're from. So So what happened was I got positive feedback from some street cats, and you know, some people got into Siki. They stopped, became a Matari, stopped alcohol, stopped the weed, stopped sleeping around, stopped doing promiscuous stuff from the music, right? Because we talked about all these subjects, we talked about real street shit going down. Some people, they felt the struggle and it would resonate with them. But also got some negative backlash. You're talking about Siki and you're rapping. So what I'm saying is you're always gonna get some people for you, some people against you. And you know, I talk to Stu all the time, and he says, I have to delete this negative comment, them Brahmins, this negative comment, that negative comment. So, but speaking to you both, I'm going to let you lot take over now, but speaking to you both, I know your intentions are to, you know, promote Sikhi. It's from a genuine place. It's from a place of doing prachar, spreading the Guru's word. And obviously we all make mistakes, and me and Stu have had our disagreements. We'll go into that in a bit as well. But yeah, you take over. What started this music project? How did you two meet each other? We know Stu's story, so we're not going to go into that. But how this music project came ahead, and bro, the views, man. When me Stu's first start tagging me, and there's like 200, 300. Now some of them are 20k, 30k, and you know what?
200k.
Yeah, I send Stu the screenshots here in my WhatsApp groups in the UK. There's like random people that I don't even know, you know, especially the 52 Hukam Name one, a couple of other tracks. They were on circulation for a few weeks, man. But yeah, I'll hand it over to you guys. I'll hand it over to Stu, actually. Come, because he's just joined in. Stu, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa,
Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Satsangat Ji, it is so very nice to see you. Everyone watching live is going to be watching afterwards.
Yeah.
Big up, Sangat Ji. It's great to be here. Thank you so much. And firstly, I got to say, hey, bruv, are you free HO? All right. Much empathy to the free HO. You know what I mean? I know I occasionally go hard, and, you know, it's all hookum, right? So definitely, I don't want to be anyone kind of beating them up, you know? But certainly it had to be said. And there's so many real things that have come into the punt from that. So you know, I think that you know, we need to have empathy for them also. But just to clarify, Siki Cast is Charlene's. Like Siki Cast started as the podcast, Charlene's concept with Udham Singh for converts to have a sangat online and to communicate. Khalsamerica is something that I've been sort of spearheading. Charlene has certainly been giving me you know, all kinds of advice. And has been involved, but I have upset her and a lot of people with some of the subject matter and the imagery. And I should say my apologies. Anyone who's upset, I heartfelt do apologize. Although this is maybe not for you. The target audience of this project, it really just started off as an experiment, but it's like it's grown to the point of where people are asking for certain things, and it's really been blowing up. But the whole point of it really is to talk to the Khalsa coming out of the West that don't have the Sangat, and that really want to just connect with the Bani. So like, if it looks a little foreign and it seems a little strange, maybe because it is foreign and it's not exactly for you, but it's all about the real stuff. It's all about spreading the medicine of the Guru.
Yeah, because I obviously get feedback that why some of my mates like, why are you supporting Khalsamerica? Some of them don't like music. They don't like music Sikhi. I'm like, listen, bro, I'm all for that. I've done that myself to get Sikhi to the masses with different types of genre of music. I don't see a harm. I spoke to Stu. You know, I've printed something. The only problem, you know, I support all of it, and I just thought some of the imagery on the AI, for me, I was uncomfortable with it, but it's my personal thing. But a lot of my lads were uncomfortable with it. I printed them out. I printed 3 that main ones that people say. So we'll discuss it in it. It's like this one. A lot of people were upset with this one, saying it's bringing gangsterism into Joppe Sahib and tattoos and Waheguru tattoo and Mexican Wato. I'm just gonna go for the images, then I'll give Stu a chance to reply. And obviously me and Stu discussed this one, like Durga, like bit like Aaliyah, looking like Aaliyah and stuff. Yeah, that one, yeah. And it was just this one singing, wearing belly tops, this and that. We're having problems in the West with bad new singing culture. The young singers are wearing more and more revealing clothes. And what's Casa America doing? So like, and I kind of agreed with them on that, but I'm like, look, man, he's a good brother. Like, I'm not gonna fall out with him over that. And you know, it's like you said, like you're coming from. I want you to explain what angle you're coming from. That you're, because they said to me, some people actually believe that you're Indian government agent trying to destroy Sikhi. They've said that to me. No lie. That what are they trying to do? Like, are they plants and stuff like that? I go, no, bro. I speak to them all the time. It's just some of that imagery is pushing boundaries, but it is what it is. Not everyone's gonna see it that way, innit? So, what's your reply to that, bro?
Well, I mean, I'll take the Kamai from my personal punch right here, you know. But anyone who come in with threats at me, and I'll get quite a few. Yeah.
What sort of threats do you get?
All kinds of nonsense all the time. But I just want to say to all of them, I forgive you, and I'm sorry, but nah, you ain't gonna stop the flow, because I'm not a Punjabi, and clearly I'm a Munna. You know what I mean? And this is all about warrior shit, you know, excuse my language. And I mean, like Charlene was, you know, you can like jump in, Sister G, and like, you know, she also has been saying the same stuff.
About what?
But, and I brought some of the images down. It's predominantly to do with the images rather than the subject matter.
The subject matter and the music, I'm all for that. And the images, I was only 3 that I've found in it. But it's like it will upset some people, and but you know, it is, yeah. What's your view, Charlie? Sis?
Sorry, my view exactly on what?
Some of the imagery, AI imagery, that Casa America is using, where the Punjabi community feel is pushing boundaries, like uncomfortable, going into uncomfortable territory, as you could say.
I mean, there were some, like there was one where, you know, sometimes AI spits out stuff that you have to change or whatever. And there was
100%.
one where the girl was in a turban, but her hair was sticking out. And I said, hey, fix that. And he did. But the thing with the girl with her midriff showing, y'all ever seen somebody in a sari? Their midriff is showing. Even old aunties with their like skin, you know, with the sari. And I know for Sikhs, you know, like women were not supposed to be, I was told no wearing saris. I was even told no lenga, no nothing, you know, don't be showing. And also that in a sari and a lenga, you can't fight in that. So you should be wearing, like, I wear bana and I wear open kashera with the leg covers. I don't wear pajami. Do you know how many pairs of pajami I split trying to do gatka and pajami?
Yeah.
So this is the uniform Guru gave us for a reason. So the things that are pushing the line, like with the tattoos and all that, I actually hadn't seen that one where the guys are standing shirtless with the tattoos. But then you see all these, you know, Muswala types and whatever doing Punjabi rap videos, and they're, you know, wearing muscle shirts or no shirts and crossing their arms with tattoos, and everybody's all wild about that. Like he said, I mean, the imagery is not so important as the message. And and then I, you know, even had people say, oh, if you're going to lines from Gurbani, you should put it in Gurmukhi first, and blah blah blah. It's like, listen, a lot of us cannot speak or read or write Punjabi, Gurmukhi, and all that. And they said, oh, well, you should try. And this is coming from people who are Punjabi. You have such a big advantage over us, and not seeing that you have a big advantage over us, be like, well, I did it and my parents didn't. You still have advantage over us because your parents spoke Punjabi to you. You probably grew up in the Gurdwara, all that. And like he said, that the whole project from the beginning was to expose the ideas of Siki, Gurbani, the universality of the Guru's message to the English-speaking world. And consequently, a lot of people have said, oh, you know, this is really reaching our kids who grew up in the West. Okay, great. That's
100%.
great.
No, yeah,
But
100%.
I'm not offended by this, like guys in the tattoos, stuff like that. Or even you saw it came out, this was a couple years ago. They were doing videos and they were had like Gurbani in it, and the guys were wearing you know, lamba kashera and kamarkasa with their kirpans and stuff, and you know, damala, and no shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, what was you wearing in a
Yeah, and they
car?
were like
Like,
modeling and
seriously.
stuff. And some people were like, that's totally fine. Other people were like, oh, that's so bad. So it's just like, there's a double standard. And then it's like, some people will complain about it, some people won't. And then some people will complain about anything. They'll just complain about anything.
Whatever you
Um,
do, you're gonna have opposing views. The only thing you like when you said about the sari and stuff, that's like more Hindu tradition. So when a Singini puts on a
right,
pug, when a Singini puts on a pug, she's not allowed to wear sari or show belly or this and
right.
that.
I was
So
told no sorry, no
yeah, yeah, yeah,
lengas, no
yeah,
showing your
yeah.
midriff,
So
nothing.
Well,
Yeah.
with
just to get into that a little bit,
yeah,
that the image, it shows a
yeah.
signet in a ring. Yeah, it's warrior
Well,
things.
no, I get you.
What you wear on your top when you're playing kabaddi? Even, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It's
know, but you know, me personally, if my daughter was
Let me
singing
see. Can you move it over some?
if my daughter was a singing, I would just get her to wear a top, but just cover the belly or t-shirt or something.
Okay. But
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
if you
That's
see
what I would
like
do. That's what I would do.
mixed
Because
martial arts and stuff
yeah,
like that, women are wearing that.
but we've not had the
But
singing in mixed martial arts.
not yet.
So yeah. So if we do, my advice would be personally is to wear a tight top. Like you can wear a tight top, but just cover most of the flesh. And like if a Muslim woman went in there, she would do martial arts, and they do martial arts. And we have had Muslim women, but they stick to their culture and the Sikh ethos. So my concern is just that I don't want to promote singing yard like showing too much
sure,
flesh.
sure.
Yeah, that.
I agree with
But
you,
you
and
know,
I'm very
I
conservative.
know
I
where
don't
Stu.
wear anything like
Yeah,
that.
I'm traditional. I'm conservative. But like I said, Stu's not out here to mess up the youth, like be half naked or get tattoos. I know what his agenda is to think someone
Yeah,
sees that and think I relate to that. I am like that. Let me hear it. And from there,
yeah,
it's like, you know, when I said get Ogyani, people screwed about why are you saying get Ogyani? It doesn't go. But I know that someone from the ghetto will say, let me click on this. What's this get Ogyani thing? From there, he'll listen
yeah,
to the talk about Gurbani in English. And from there, that can spark a journey of them becoming Amritari and becoming a better Sikh than all of us. So I get it's clickbait. I get it. Yeah. Even when I done a Gurbani for the Road project, which you guys, thank you, you made a song for, and I appreciate it. And it was it's people want why you I had some comments. Why are you rating Gurbani for the roads? What's Gurbani got to do for the roads? Some people actually complained to some organizations here and they phoned me about you guys and me doing that Gurbani for the road tracks. That what is Mal doing? Has he lost the plot? But Gurbani for the roads is people
Urbani
for the
for the
roads
road.
is like for street people. I'm breaking down Gurbani in simple
Oh, okay,
language
okay.
for street people. So it's a clickbait, a catchphrase. So someone that's smoking crack or dealing crack, they might come on YouTube and they might see something from Siri Himanda Sahib in Punjabi. They're not going to click on it. But if they see Gurbani for the
Right.
road, I'm actually on the roads. I'm doing road shit. You know, I'm in a gang. But Gurbani for the road, I've not heard of this. I've not heard of Uncle Get Ogyani. So they're going to click on it and they'll be like, shit, this is dope. This is mad. And they might start watching more
Yeah.
videos. So I'll totally get Stu's attentions and this and that. But, you know, it's good to have this conversation. And I respect Stu. He said, sorry if I've offended you. It takes a big man to do that. That shows no ego and stuff. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's just that, yeah, great. You know, everyone, no matter what you do, yeah, even the guru had opposition, you know what I mean? Let's get real.
Yeah, I
The
mean, he was
the guru was,
challenging
yeah,
the
the guru was
status quo of
attacked.
the time.
The guru was
Rebels.
attacked. The guru was
Yeah.
attacked. So I get Stu's like he's reaching out with like this image, is reaching out to street people, Joe beside, ask for protection, and people might see that image and think that's me, you know, like that's how I am. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, so I said to them, my lad, look, well, I'll discuss it, but I'm not going to fall out with Stu over it because you know what? I'm a big man. I can agree to disagree. I said
Yeah.
I've had my discussions in private. I've got my view. Everyone's got their view. But the main thing is intentions. His intentions ain't bad, and I support what he's doing because he's trying to do good. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
you know that's it. And if you reach out to him, innit? Don't fret. If you say I'm going to shoot you and you're not going to shoot someone, don't say that. But just reach out. And
Yeah.
sometimes if Stu thinks loads of people are reaching out in a positive manner, and like you said, you've reached out. He's changed stuff. When I spoke to Stu, he said, I get where you're coming from. And he goes,
Yep.
if someone can convince him or loads of people message him in the right way, then he will change shit as well. So to all the viewers
Yeah.
who don't agree with anything, nicely, bro, this, that, wait for a reply. And I'm sure if 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people have disagree with one image, Stu's not out here to make enemies or to become like an anti-agent or, defy the fun. He wants to progress the fun and he will listen, you know what I mean? And I even said to him
Right. He's open.
yeah, I said to him before the interview, I am going to discuss these. He didn't hide and say, I'm not coming on or let's not discuss it. And,
Right.
like you're going to make me look bad in public or whatever. So we'll keep it real, innit? You know what I mean?
He's open to suggestions, but nobody can make anybody do anything, right? And he said I've disagreed with him on some things.
Yeah.
Like the thing about don't have her hair poking out. It wasn't a disagreement. It was just saying, he's like, what do you think of this? I said, I think that.
Yeah.
But him and I have had to talk back and forth about
That's
the
life.
Santia thing.
Yeah.
About Santia. Because, but the AI, you can't, sometimes the AI spits it out in such a way and there's only so much you can finagle it, right? Like that you can work. Like to me, Santia is a big issue though. And actually, so we have Siki cast.
It's also subjective though, really, isn't it? Yeah, different accents and whatnot. But like between the different datas, is there one consensus on what the correct pronunciation on anything is? There isn't. Like constantly, like we have different accents, American to English or Indian, whatnot. Is it?
Yeah, that's the hard part.
You know what I mean? Is it such a crime, really, to to say something slightly different? Are we Brahmins here? Is it a magical spell that has to be done right? Yeah, I'm all about the Santia, and definitely it's about Maharaj Guru Granth Sahib Ji is the epitome, all right? But like in terms of this project, this isn't Gurbani. It's a translation. Yeah. It's trying to point people towards Gurbani, and the medicine that comes through it, the amount of like beautiful messages that we get like every day, like seriously, I've got some crazy silly ones I can tell you about, but I mean, the amount of like aunties who are like, oh, my grandkids, I've been teaching them using this stuff to teach their kids. Wow. And I'm like amazed because this wasn't for the Punjabis. This was for the culture in America, So or the Western, but the amount of Savadars that we've got in Canada, like the amount of people that are contacting from all around the world that are all behind this, and they're like, this is good stuff. So why good?
It's blown up, bro. The numbers are shocking, bro. Just a few weeks ago, we was on 300 and we were talking, and then I woke up and it's like wow,
hundreds of thousands, yeah,
bro. It's gonna grow. What's the future plans? What you guys got planned for the future then?
Well, I certainly think that others will jump on this mission. That like really, if anything, I'm looking to take a bit of a break on it. I've been going hard on it because I want to move on to other things. Yeah. But I feel that now, because the technology is so accessible, and people have asked in the chat here, what do I use? I use a couple of different things. I mean, I can tell anyone, give me a message and I'll explain how to do it. It's quite simple. It takes a lot of tweaking, just like any creative project. You're never going to get it right the first time, and it's never right. You have to compromise, and it's a lot of tweaking. But I certainly, I've seen a few, there's a white Sikh, and she's on YouTube, and she's doing the same thing now. So like, we're going to see a lot more of this in multiple languages.
Yeah, I'm just going through some of the questions. Humans as one good. So someone said, what do we do to please the Guru? My answer to that would be as much Simran. When you read Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, it says, Naam Japo, meditate on Waheguru. Understand the Bani, like Stu said. You can parrot read the Bani, but if you don't understand what the Guru is saying, the divine or universal message, then your journey to Paramatma, to Waheguru, will be a bit slower. So I appreciate what you're doing, brother, like putting the translations out there. And like I said, you know, one little spark, plant a little seed, and that will sprout and it will grow. Like that's what I did with my music. I planted the seed to the ghetto youth, and now they've left some of the youth have left the streets. You're always gonna get criticism, and sometimes, bro, we do wrong, or we might have got it wrong. We're not perfect, you know. Today you might be defending some of the images, and 10 years later you might think, you know what, I could have done that better. I've done them mistakes, you know. If I took back time, I might have done certain things I did 20 years ago a bit different. We're all on a progressive journey here. Right, and everyone, real is everywhere and fake is everywhere. Real eyes recognize real eyes. Real eyes. I'm just going through all the questions. I missed quite a lot.
Real eyes.
Yeah. I put, they said, what do you do to please the guru? I said, love all humans as one and do good deeds.
Even the homosexuals. Yeah. And what would you say, Stu?
I would say that one thing that's come to mind, I have to say, is a massive inspiration for this project was a UK rapper Uchibunga and Dubtician, Jazz from Dubtician.
Yes.
I have to say that for multiple years, their music's been really inspiring me, and I've needed it in English. You know, so that I'm not listening to Tupac and stuff, and that I'm listening to the right stuff. You know,
some conscious stuff. You would have loved my old stuff. I might have to send you some of my old stuff, but I'm in the process of making an album. Obviously, I'm going to get you on one track as well. So it's been great speaking. If you got anything else to say before we wrap up, you know. What's your final message to the Sangha, Charlene, to the Singhania, to the young Singhania? Any positive message what would you say about your sum up this talk, man? Then I'll give Stu the platform.
I would say that I think in the diaspora, I see a lot of young Singhs and Singhania doing really great work for the Panth. Growing up outside India or practicing their Siki outside India have really been able to separate Punjabi culture from Sikh culture, right? And see the difference there and move forward without the casteism, without the, honestly, like, you know, some racism, and colorism and things like that. I'm really excited for the future generations and for people especially Canada. I've gone to Canada a bunch of times, in the diaspora, the young people, I guess just really, I want to say, like, picking up the torch and moving forward and taking Siki in a really good direction. It's not full of, like I said, culturalisms and politics. You know, certain types of politics don't belong in Siki, and I think that people are seeing that, and they're really just getting back to the basics of Siki, which is Nam Japana, Kirtkarna, Vanchakana, right? That Nam Japana, like, and really seeing what it can do for them. And that Siki it's not about ritualism. Guru Nanak was pretty clear about not participating so much in ritualism, and doing the pot kar. Do what's in the path. It's not just doing path, but applying the concept of path to your life. Like I'm saying, like, to love everyone as one and to do the good deeds without wanting anything in return. And I guess I think this is positive too, is that religion, faith, should not be a money-making scheme. I see that being done across the board with a lot of world religions, and let's make sure that we're not doing that in Siki.
Yes.
Don't
can
make
I just
a
say
mockery
that Charlene donated me my kata, and she is constantly giving katas away. You know, so even with her Etsy business and that, she's doing a lot of seva and like spreading kakatas.
What would you? So the final message goes to you, Stu, bruv. End the show, man.
Well, I just want to say thank you, brother and sister, and everyone watching. And
Yeah,
you
respect.
know,
Thanks for
I'm
the
I'm
time.
s- I'm sorry to tell you guys this, that Siki is gonna mushroom outside
Mm,
of India, outside of Punjab. It's
mm.
inevitable. Maybe after
Mm.
our lifetime, but
Yeah,
it's what we've been looking, and it's been here for a long time. I mean, look at Max Arthur McAuliffe in like the 1800s, you know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, like the, don't be gatekeepers. Don't try to control this, because you know Guru's in charge, and the pump is spreading. So just get ready. I mean, there's going to be a lot of foreign Sikhs coming, and eventually, you know, I feel that Khalsa is inevitable.
Bro, there's Godwara in Portugal, all across America, Europe. No, my mate said he went to Poland. There's a Godwara there. There's
Italy is
Godwara
big, man.
everywhere. It's just crazy. I'm shocked that there's Godwara everywhere. Even in England, there's Godwara nearly in every town. It's mad. It's mad. It's mad. Yeah, thanks for your time, guys. Man, this was a real like. Thanks for keeping it real. Thanks for like. We talked about negative stuff, positive stuff. Thanks for like. This ain't no. What people say like. What's it called? We kept it real. Like we looked at all angles. That's what I like. Some people just think, let's sell our product. We're not trying to. This wasn't a show to sell Casa America. It was to openly have discussion, which I think the Bunt wanted and Bunt needed. And for me, it was important to show the intentions, because when people don't agree with something, they start targeting the intentions, and that's dangerous. And that's what I wanted to show today, especially from coming from Stu. Respect, guys. It's getting late here. I'm gonna hit the sack. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being understanding. Thanks for accepting my views and not, bruv. It's very rare that people have different views and don't swear at each other and are still friends at the end. And that's what we're gonna show. Maturity, big man thing, big woman thing. Waheguru Ji Ka
Jika
Khalsa.
Khalsa,
Khalsa,
Waheguru
Waheguru Ji
Ji
Ki Fateh.
Ki Fateh. Much love, people. Thank you.
Much love. Safe.
With